Go for it.
Well, this is exciting. This is Sue Bell and Fran Horvath, and we welcome you guys to Digital Disruption Marketing webinar number 1. Um, guess I need to introduce us to folks because there are a lot of names and faces that I don't recognize. Maybe Sue knows all of them. I'm just going to do a brief overview. Can you hear me okay first? I know everybody's been talking and saying they could hear us all along, but let me just make sure everybody can hear us now that we hit record. And yes, good. Okay, guys, well, welcome. We are so excited to be starting something new and to have you with us. Sue Bell is the founder and my co-partner with Digital Disruption Marketing. Sue's been in, I don't have the bio in front of me, Sue, so you might have to correct me with some of the dates, but Sue has been doing online marketing since, when did you start ThemeZoom? Back in 2000?
Well, I've been doing online marketing since 1999. I started well before ThemeZoom. We had several websites up and ranking well and having a lot of fun before Russell and I conspired to start ThemeZoom in 2006.
Okay, so ThemeZoom was 2006, and that transpired and became a software development company because you wanted to build some tools to help your own sites. Is that right?
Exactly. And we had friends. So we had implemented silo structures in our websites, and it had really made a difference. I had inherited a couple sites, and when we implemented silo structures there, the rankings shot from like 700 and 800 up to page 1 just virtually overnight. So we had a bunch of friends who weren't technically, they made beautiful websites, but they were technically challenged. And so we wanted to create a software that would allow them to build a silo structure without having to think too hard. So that's where TZ, ThemeZoom 1.0 to 3.0 and Kraken and how all of that evolved.
Excellent. And just, for folks who don't know the whole story, Sue and all the evolutions of the companies have literally been ahead of the curve, a year to 2 years ahead of whatever was going on. So even way back in the early days when it was easy to rank and it was easy to get your website on page 1, and when email marketing was actually, people enjoyed getting emails because it was such a such a novelty. I remember the AOL days when you wanted to get that message every time. If I got a message every time I got an email today, I'd be in rubber rooms. But it's just ahead of the curve so far that everybody else is doing things that Sue's looking back on and saying, that is working right now, but I don't know if it's going to be a month from now, 2 months from now, or 6 months from now, but that's going to do this, that, and the other thing. And of course, it all happened. Everybody knows about PBNs and everybody who lost their shirts on building PBNs. We're not saying that people don't still do that and they don't still have some sort of value, but we don't really like doing a lot of things that waste time and have to be done over and over again. So that's bringing us up to Network Empire and building the whole web ring and you everywhere, and just having a presence anywhere your clients and prospective clients could find you. And then the next evolution of, well, go ahead.
Yeah, that was when Matt joined us in 2011 when we moved from ThemeZoom to Network Empire. Mm-hmm. And so social media, starting in about 2009, I was trying to to figure out how to make sense out of social media, how to make something that was that you didn't lose your mind on, because we had spreadsheets and spreadsheets and spreadsheets, and it was just insane, like what was supposed to go where and how do you not double post. So that was the evolution of the ring system. But at the same time, like one of the things I saw at the time particularly too were people were missing a lot of the foundational pieces. So we really tried to come in with Network Empire and lay a bunch of foundation and put a bunch of training in place that helped people understand how to look at all of the different platforms and all the different things that you could do with internet marketing. And to just take that forward to where we are today, I'm looking, well, we've been looking, it's actually Fran who like yanked on my chain a little bit and said, you know, you should look at what's going on over here. And this was about a year ago. And the more we started to dig into that, the more it became obvious that where we're at right now is one of those really unusual times where things are changing really quickly, and you've got the opportunity to step in and do things the way that you did around 2000 to 2003, where there was a lot of money to be made with the online gold rush and some simple things that you could do that would get you way far ahead. As you know, like one of the things that I'm all about is sustainability. And so the growth hacking stuff that we're seeing going on today, they make for a really great spike. But then it's like, okay, how do you take that and turn it into something sustainable? So that leads us into where we are today. If I can talk for a couple minutes about the pink elephant in the room. So if you look back 50 years, my dad said something to me when I was about 10, he turned 50, and he said, you know, when you've lived for 50 years, you get an interesting perspective on time and how things transition over time. And I'm a little bit beyond that at this point, but his quote has been in my head for, well, actually for most of my life, but particularly for the last 10 years. And as I've looked at that, I've seen, if you look at computers in general, when I first started out in computers in the late 70s, you could know everything there was to know about all the computers. Pretty much any computer that was out there. They were all diverse, but there were only, well, they all had more or less the same operating system. They were all proprietary, but they all did the same functionality, and everything was really simple and plain, and you could sit down and in a few minutes you could come completely up to speed on whatever it was that was doing. And then things became more complicated, and there was more user software. WordStar came in, and there was a whole suite of business applications that came in, and then another few years went by and the internet came in, and with the internet brought a whole bunch of people who were not technically inclined at all. And with each of these major evolutions, I saw more and more specialization. So where at the beginning you could know everything there was about computers, then it started to break off into two factions, and you had people who knew everything about software and people who knew everything about hardware. And I chose the software route, right? So then you go down the software path a little bit further, and pretty much you can know everything there is to know about software, and then the internet came along and you can kind of incorporate that too. But then marketing started to come into play and ranking, and I decided that the internet was, I mean, I love software, don't get me wrong, but the internet was where I really wanted to focus because of the ability to be able to communicate with so many people so quickly. So I went down that path, and now I would say, as we sit here at 2017, that has splintered yet again. So you see companies like jimmykelly.digital, who's specifically into SEO, and you see our company, which is specifically into growth hacking and turning growth hacking into sustainable structures. And then you see companies like Network Empire, who are heavy into the tech foundation stuff. So that's the last 50 years in a nutshell. Network Empire is still great. Silos still work. WR1s, WRS1s, great way to look at life, the universe, and everything. I know that Matt is working really hard to make the rest of the ring system quicker to implement. And then, as I talked a moment ago, about a year ago, we started to look at growth hacking stuff. Over the course of last year, we've joined several mastermind groups, and as we dug further into it, we decided that it really warranted more attention. So as I looked at Network Empire and as I looked at what I wanted to do I mean, this is just really, it's a thing that can just completely consume you. I decided that Network Empire wasn't the right company to go down this path, because Network Empire is all about infrastructure, and we're all about basically breaking all of those rules. So, so we built a new company where the idea of change isn't going to be able to disrupt it. And just so you know, we're not in any way, shape, or form associated or affiliated with Network Empire and Clay Digital at this point. So breaking all the rules. Fast, easy, lethal, that's the name of this game, all right? Lethal obviously depends on which niche you're in. You know, we didn't grab that image. I want to show you guys, we'll post it in the Facebook group later on this afternoon or first thing in the morning. The company, it's a toy company that went from 0 to 20 million in, I think it was about 18 months. I know I said in the email it was 12 months, but I lied, it was 18 months. What's that?
I think it's pushed down later in the slideshow, so we have it somewhere. Just out
of good, 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 good. So the thing that I'm looking at is a new toy company that comes up to 20 million based off of a growth hacking campaign. It wasn't a single video, but most of it was off of a single video. Still isn't going to be in a position to compete with something like Toys R Us, right? So let me just see where I'm headed with the slideshow before I start waxing eloquent. Hang on. So I'm not looking to throw the baby out with the bathwater here. I want to braid disruptive marketing with some sustainable tech so that you can leverage that fast growth and ground it so that you can maximize that life cycle. So one example right now, everybody's heard, I think, probably about Facebook bots. If you haven't, it's the latest thing. Not quite the latest thing. It's been around for a few months at this point, but it's all the rage. And it's good right now. Like, you're on the cutting edge with Facebook bots still right this minute. It hasn't gone into overuse yet, but it's one of those things where I know in a few more months it's going to be overused. And so if you haven't captured the people that you're talking to on those bots in your email, by the time it goes into overuse and people start unsubscribing for the bots, then you have lost that leverage that you gained during that growth hack. Give me a 1 if that makes sense.
Yeah, guys, just think of it just like any other brand new strategy, like when the Groupons of the world came out and they were just like the hottest thing, and then all those businesses lost their shirts because they didn't know how to do follow-up and retain the customers they got, and all they got were these discount buyers and actually losses. They were acquiring clients, and sometimes you understand, right? It costs money to acquire a client. Sometimes it's not profitable, but you have to make your campaigns profitable. So if you can't just use a hack and let it be just that. It's got to be a part of a bigger picture.
Exactly. So leaving Network Empire allows us to have the flexibility to be on the forefront of these emerging and incredibly disruptive technologies, to share with you guys what it is we're finding, and to pave a way for you guys to be able to implement stuff without having to worry about getting burned. So, Blue Ocean versus digital marketing, because we started off talking about Blue Ocean, we started off talking about case studies, we sent everybody over there, and so Blue Ocean marketing is for our case studies. It is the agency half of our organization.
It's our laboratory, basically. It's where we're playing and testing all these strategies, right?
Exactly. And this side, hang on just a second. Let me make sure I'm not going to overstep the next slide. Yeah, good. All right. So the Facebook side of the house is for Black Ops, right? So, oh, you know what? I don't have the link. I'm gonna have to go get the link. Actually, you could grab that link, the Facebook secret group link. So the Facebook side of the house is basically black ops for all of the guys from Network Empire, all my friends and family that want to come with us and check out what it is that we're doing and participate in where we're going. That's why you are here and what it is that we're doing. We've masterminded with the brightest minds in disruptive marketing. We've got them in a basement. We're torturing them, and shortly their brains will be in a jar. And we're also doing some strategic partnering. Fran, 2 or 3 people have said that your volume is low. I don't know if you can kick it up or not.
Yeah, I'm going to get a little bit closer to the mic.
Okay. So, so this is ethical. It's in real time. We're gonna be doing some teaching. We're going to be sharing with you in the secret. I'm going to get into the secret group here in a minute. I will leave that for right now. But we're going to be showing you the results of the case studies. And like we're going to have, that's why some of you guys saw that yesterday I was playing with Facebook documents. We're going to have a document for each one of the case studies so that you guys can see and can follow along with exactly what's going on. I haven't talked to our case studies yet about, if we can, who's comfortable. Some of them are clients of agencies, so it might take me a little while to get permission from everybody. But I don't know who else is going to be comfortable with. We are actually saying, this is the brand that we're promoting. If we can't actually specify the brand and give you guys the links so that you can go check it out, then we will at least report on the stats. This is where it's starting. This is what we did. This is what worked. This is what we learned, all of that kind of good stuff. So let me just talk for a second about our 10 case studies. We've got a retirement community. We've got a real estate agent. We've got a brand new product which is launching for a grill, and that includes doing the crowdfunding for it. We've got an injury lawyer. We've got business consulting. We've got a clothing e-com site, a really cool site. They're all fun, don't get me wrong. It's just that the clothing is like, it's very cute clothing. Shoes, and they've got some brand new models that are coming out and they're wanting to get traction. They've got a print-on-demand e-com store. So 3 radically different, well, I don't know, the clothing and the shoes. The reason that they're different is because the platforms are so different. But 3 rather different e-commerce platforms. We have a marina, a boat marina in a foreign country, and we've got a tile and carpet cleaning company. So just a little bit of diversity going on there.
And we did that on purpose, guys. We had a lot of people apply for the case studies, and you can still, we're going to open that up. We're not necessarily going to be taking any more, but we probably will, because that's how we're going to be practicing and testing all the strategies. But for right now, we wanted a huge, diverse portfolio so that we could show that these things either work across the board or they work better in this particular niche or industry or with this kind of business model. So we're going to have a little bit of something for everyone. So no matter what market you're in, we should be able to give you some really, really cool toys to play with when we're done.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm so new to Facebook, Facebook groups anyway, that it's not even funny. I'll figure out. I read the thing about the secret group, and I thought if I gave you the link that was all that you need, but maybe there's a secret handshake involved too. So we'll suss that out and get it to you. So the whole slide comes in at one time. Online mastermind group. So let's talk about what we're going to do in the mastermind group versus the public group, which you guys are in right now. So the private group, we're going to, so you know me, I'm a software girl. Like for me to not develop software, like you might as well just, cut me off at the head and get it over with now. So, so the question is, in this fast-moving environment, what kind of software makes sense? So I'm looking for you guys to help me out with that. I want suggestions. We're going to put up a place where you guys can make suggestions and we can talk about it. haven't completely figured out exactly how that's going to go. That might also be another one of these Facebook documents. I need to play around a little bit and see, maybe like a type form where you guys put in suggestions, and then we take a subset of those suggestions that are most viable and put those in a document, and we all talk about it. But anyway, software development, it can be software that's brand new, not been done before, and you would like to see it done. It can be, hey, wow, the idea for this piece of software is great, but the implementation is not all that. Or it can be like, I wish I had this piece of software and this piece of software and they could talk together. So anything along those lines, I'll let you guys just kind of percolate on that, because that can be a lot of fun. And the other thing that I want to do with that is, the guys that are in the secret group, we're going to crowdfund the software, and you guys are going to be able to get in at like a ridiculously low price for ever, right? Just like lifetime, forever. So, so all of that is like exciting as all get out to me. So obviously we're going to talk about the case studies. I already ran that one down. Type form, we'll cover that in a little bit. We're going to have polls in there to see what you guys are interested in, like where I don't want to just do this because everything is so new and so emerging and changing so fast. I don't want to pretend like I've got all the answers, or that I even have my finger on the pulse of everything that is going on. So, so we're going to have polls. You guys are going to, I want you guys to give me feedback. What directions should we go in? What kind of stuff are you interested in? I want this to be a lot more of a conversation than what we had before. And then last but definitely not least, we've got some strategic partnerships going on, which I will talk about in a little bit, with other software companies that, and this is software that we have been using for the last period of time, like up to a year. The one piece of software that we're going to talk about today, I think we've been using for about 3 months. But it's like the best of the best. Like, these are the things that we tried. These are the things that we love. And I'm working to get strategic partnerships with the software houses so that we can bring you some kick-ass prizes on these things. All right. So the big map. Share ongoing case study results, contribute to future software strategies, strategic partner for unpublished discounts, and find out some of our newest strategic partners. So just kind of an overview. Oh, good. Friends on top of that. Excellent. So disruption takes a couple more forms. We talked about software a little bit, the discounts. We want stuff that is going to make your life easy, that's going to help you land clients fast, that's going to, like, I'm all about speed, right? It's got to be simple. It's got to bring really fast results. So I'm like, you guys know, well, maybe you don't know. For those of you who were in MDM 3 and 4 the last quarter, I think it was, I've been doing calls, one-on-one calls with folks in the group, and it was quite enlightening to talk to folks and find out what their biggest stumbling blocks are. And one of the things that I walked away with, and that one of the other reasons, there's a pile of reasons, but one of the other reasons why I decided this was going to be a good move is because it takes time to create a blueprint, it takes time to create the website, and then it takes time to rank. And so all up, you're looking, I mean, even if you move fast, you're looking at 4 months. Typically speaking, you're looking more at like 6 months from the time your client hands you the first check until the time where they're really seeing good results. Minimum 3 months, you can get them into maps and some stuff like that, right? So I want stuff where you can get, if you're doing marketing for yourself, you need to be able to get in and make a big splash faster. And if you're doing stuff for clients, it's a whole lot easier to onboard them if you can say, hey, wow, I've got this thing, we can get it rocking and rolling right now, and you'll see a difference. And it either doesn't cost very much or it brings you super fast results. And none of these techniques are terribly expensive. Like none of them are like $6,000–7,000. If you put them all together and gave them a package deal, then it can be $6,000–10,000. But if you want to just, like if you're looking to get a foot in the door, you can come in with 1 or 2 techniques and you can do something that's going to make a huge difference in their lives. And then you've built trust and they're happy to go on and do whatever you recommend past that point. All right. So more where we're headed. Looking at events, looking at training. I love doing certification. That's going to definitely be in our future. Coffees, lattes, brevets, strategic partnerships, and market domination. Right? What would, like, it just wouldn't be, you know, business as usual without all those things, right? So, yes, good for national clients, absolutely. It's different techniques for local clients versus national clients, and this is where we need to just like that. That's why I wanted a really diverse set of things where we look at all different kinds of businesses and all different scopes, and some of those businesses are quite large. So we'll get into all of that on the inside. All right, so viral strategies. Let's talk about viral strategies for just a minute. I'm going to take a breath if you want to talk, Fran. I know I haven't let you do much of that.
That's fine. Some of the folks in the chat are saying that they don't necessarily want to put their email into the chat for everyone. You can actually select that it's just going to the administrators, but if it's confusing, it's no biggie. You can hit us up on Skype, or I'm going to drop the link for the public group that you guys can just join on your own. We still have to approve you, but once you're in there, then we can give you the link. You just let us know that you want to be in the private group.
Cool.
It might be easier that way anyway than to try to make sure I catch everybody in this chat.
Yeah. Why don't you put my Skype in there so that folks can grab me if they want to?
I will.
Cool. All right. So viral strategies. Let's talk about what makes people click. So I'm sure you guys are aware, like we've kind of come full circle on the internet, and in today's environment, I think part of it has to do with the economy, but I also think it's just a maturation of the digital environment. People are back to wanting to connect. They don't want to really do business with somebody that they don't know, like, and trust. They want to feel like they know you. They want to feel like, you know, if they give you their credit card, that it's safe, and that if something happens, you're going to stand behind what it is that you do. Authenticity. Customers want to be in a relationship with the brands with whom they're doing business. And to that end, do you want to talk a little bit about this slide, Fran? You put it together. I can talk, but
yeah, it's just, guys, this is what's missing with this new digital world where everyone is stuck behind computers and everybody is sharing everything about every aspect of their life, but there is absolutely no connection. There's no deep connection with anyone. And when a brand can connect with its audience and become real and care about the people that they're doing business with, not just about making money off of them, not just about selling them something else, but literally care about their well-being and what they want and need from the brand. I mean, I'm not talking about, you know, sitting around the campfire and hugging them and, you know, talking about what happened with their childhood. I'm talking about what's relevant to what you're doing in business. And when you connect at a level like that with your audience, that's how you go from 0 to $20 million in 18 months, from literally, I mean, do you know how hard it is to break into a mega industry like toys or some kind of a food? It's virtually impossible to get traction, let alone in 18 months, to be not in business one day and next minute you're a 7-figure business. It's just about having the stories that are worth telling, that people want to hear, and make them feel like they're part of your family and make them want to be a part of your family because they trust you. And then you keep that relationship going. It's not just about, I don't know how many times I connect with a brand or a service organization, and they are terrific the first time they come out when they want to sell me something. But the second time, it may not be consistent. It may not be the same level of service. By the time they've been here 3 or 4 times, I don't even recognize what we agreed to in the first place. Having a consistent, this is what we're talking about with ethics and with credibility. You really do mean what you're saying, and you don't just mean it just to get the business.
Exactly.
That's the difference between how you figure out all the strategies and tactics and which keywords and what it is that's going to help you sell this one little widget to putting together this communication, and it just happens almost by itself. It's that big difference.
Exactly. So marketing and money like speed. This was something we put in one of our emails. It's I mean, it's obvious that the faster you can get your message out, the better your response is going to be. And so what we're doing is we're generating this traffic, and the great thing about the traffic that we're generating is that it can be pointed wherever you need it. It can go to your Amazon store, it can go to your website, it can go to client sites, it can go to Facebook. You can actually go head to toe against the major brands because you're leaner, you're faster, you can be more engaging, and you can be closer to the end user. And they're still figuring out how to do that, how to pivot and be able to do that. Do you want to talk again, Fran? I need to
find my unmute button.
Okay. I need to grab a glass of water.
So what we're talking about with some of these really viral and powerful strategies, not only are they simple and powerful, but you know right away if they're going to work. So we're not talking about having to spend thousands of dollars on Facebook ads to know if something's going to work. We're talking about literally being able to spend 20, 30, 40, maybe $50 on a campaign and know if it's a winner or not. And then once you find the winner, all you have to do is scale and throw as much money at it as you can. As fast as you can scale, it will take you there. Now, obviously, there's always some kind of a leveling off point, but most people don't have enough money, cash flow, to get to that leveling off point as fast as it would require to even consider it an issue. So it's about doing the process, and it's about finding out quickly what's going to work and what's not going to work, and then just scaling with the things that do work. And just about, I would have to say, at least a good third of the things that we've been playing with and testing, you can lump into this simple and inexpensive to test category. So this is the combination of doing things fast with the sustainable piece. So yeah, this is a foundation of getting started. This is the thing that can build brands.
Exactly. So saving, building, competing, and thriving. Software and systems that can literally save a drowning business. Can come in quick, can implement some viral strategies. It can also build a brand from the ground up virtually overnight, launch new products, launch new services, and give you insight and deep throat insider. And what the heck did you mean by deep throat insider information, Brent?
I'm just saying, some of our strategic partners that some of them are going to be in the forefront and will be right up front with us. And you'll know who they are. Some of them you won't necessarily know. So we'll be, back alley talking to them in the dark garage, and as long as they're giving me lattes and puppy treats for my kids, then we'll keep them as friends. So this is like the paradigm, right? It takes forever for what appears to be overnight successes to happen, and that's just been the story. That's what every great successful business person has always told us. Not so much true anymore.
Not so much. Imagine spending a couple $100 and knowing literally in days that your brand, product, or service is going to sell like hotcakes. And this is actually one of the really cool things. This is something that I am very intrigued with. Is there anything more you want to say about that? I could wax eloquent on that slide for a while, but I'm afraid that I'd be like, I don't know what you've got planned down the slide deck here.
No, the only thing I would say is that you guys have to just, we all learn and we know what we know, right? We think we know what we know. And you've just got to be willing to be open to other possibilities. And I know that sounds simple and it sounds silly to even have to say that, but some things are just so outside of the norm, and sometimes they're extremely simple. If just there's one of the things that we're doing, the influencer marketing. It's a very simple strategy. There's a lot of rabbit holes you can go down, and a lot of ways you can lose a whole lot of money. So knowing how to do it, well, it's not very complicated, but knowing how to do it right will make the difference between you spending thousands of dollars and making thousands of dollars. So you could waste a whole lot of money. So you just have to be open to knowing the right way can be simple, and there is a method, and it doesn't have to take a long time for success to happen. And you just don't put limits on yourself or your potential, because some of these strategies, like I know you probably can't imagine going from $0 to $20 million, and you don't have to, because nobody does. You don't walk into, I had a friend of mine who is the lady who received people when they walked into a car dealership years ago. That was her job. She was just, young, 20-year-old at the time. And after working there for, 13 years or so, she ended up being general manager. But she didn't have the confidence of a general manager the day she started. She could never envision going from the receptionist to running a store. She had to do it in steps. She had to get the confidence to move up. So even though this can happen extremely fast, you don't have to see all the way to the end right now. But you have to just be open to the potential and the possibility that it could happen for you, because there's no reason that even if you've struggled before to even make a sale, your first sale, if you're a digital marketer, if you've had a problem getting your first client, that does not mean that you cannot be in a multi-million-dollar business this time next year with the strategies and technology that we're talking about. But just be open. There's the image.
Yes. So that leads us into our next conversation, the next part of the conversation, where it was a laser tag toy company that went from 0 to 20 million in 18 months based off of these laser guns here, and a very clever video that kicked the whole campaign off. And oh my goodness, yeah. So there's just, as I said before, it's about taking that kind of growth, and it's about turning it into, my passion is about taking that kind of growth and turning it into something that's going to be sustainable, so that they don't end up being a flash in the pan. And somebody said earlier, I think it was Ganti said earlier, about the Dollar Shave Club example, and that's very much it. Like they had a brilliant video too, went viral on Facebook, and they did some Facebook advertising, and then, what happened to them? I mean, I know they're still around, but like, yeah, so you don't want to be a flash in the pan. So secrets of speed, engagement, and growth. Speak to deep need, you get a fanatical fan base, and stay in a highly engaged way, two-way relationship, right? And then you need a long-term plan that's going to take that and ground it out. So bridging the gap, and that just didn't work at all.
We didn't bridge that gap very well.
No.
So
dang it.
we've got a couple strategies that are the first couple things that we wanted to talk to you about are things that are super, super simple, but they're really powerful in bringing credibility, and they're so easy to close. They're just like no-brainers. If you're an agency, they're super easy to sell. And if you've ever heard, everybody talks about the ultimate foot in the door product. This is the kind of thing that there's literally no downside to it. There's no reason a client would not do it. Now, it's not a fit for everyone, but if you're targeting the right customers, it works. And so we're going to have, over the next little while, a couple of things that are just dead simple. They're extremely profitable for you and for your clients, and you look like a hero when you can bring this stuff to them. So some of you may have seen some of these things, but everything that we're doing, even if you're familiar at all with it, there's always going to be a little bit of a twist and an extra little bit of power behind it. So
yeah. Can I talk about the twist and the power?
Please.
All right, so this particular product, Fran got, before she burned her email address, Fran was getting a 75% close ratio. And so we used a couple of pieces of software to be able to get such an amazing, well, it wasn't just a close ratio, but she also got, she took first place in terms of bringing the most number of clients on the first month, right? So, so how to get a lot of clients, how to get a good close ratio. We are going to show you the inside scoop on that. And on top of that, well, let's just go through the slides because it's a pretty amazing product. And so here's what I'm going to do for like the next couple of minutes. I want to briefly touch on what this product is. We're going to have a full-blown Webby on this product on Thursday. I don't have it scheduled yet. I can't give you the link yet, but we'll post it in Facebook here by close of business today. And so I just want to like wet your whistle. Like this is just an example, one example of many that we're going to be bringing you over the course of the next few months. So this is a frictionless solution. This actually costs your client nothing. It's a thing that you can walk in the door and you can say, hey, how would you like free advertising? You know, I'm just going to start in on the spiel. So maybe I should let you do this because I haven't actually walked through these slides very carefully, and I'll probably do them out of order.
Well, that's okay. I don't do the slides either, so.
Okay, good. So then we'll kind of bounce through the slides and we'll just talk. So what this is you can talk to your potential clients. This is a great, like this is the most awesome foot in the door product ever. And we've been using this, how long now? 3-4 months?
I started August 2nd.
August 2nd. So 2 months. 2 months today. This is a thing where you can, you talk to your potential client and you say, hey, for free, we can get you some exposure on some of the largest, most trafficked websites on the internet. There's a couple of things that, you know, there's a couple of details. They have to be the right kind of business. But aside from that, assuming that they're the right kind of business, they can get on this, they can be shown to their competitors' clients. So in other words, you can steal the traffic off of your competitors. You can define the target market, and it gets shown on websites like on bank websites and on Yext and on like high-profile, high-trafficked websites. So The only time that the client actually pays is when a sale is actually made. So it's got a guaranteed ROI on it. And there's just so precious few marketing things out there that have a guaranteed ROI.
So you guys know, when you log into your bank and you see you get an offer for something, a discount on something, Starbucks or a restaurant down the road, that's called a credit linked offer. So because it's your bank card, you just say, yes, I want that offer. And then when you go to that merchant and spend money with that bank credit card, you get your discount and your money comes back to you in your bank account. It's just automatic. So every business, every major business has rewards programs. So the banks work like that. The airlines have their rewards programs. Hotels have their rewards, frequent flyer miles, frequent stay miles, or frequent stay points. There's apps, just specialty apps like food apps. There's Yelp, for example. So there are over 1,500 publishers on this network that your business owners can get advertising. They can get branding. Their brand is shown in front of millions, thousands, tens of thousands, and potentially millions of people, depending on how big they are. And they don't pay for any of that until somebody walks in the door with a credit card that they've linked to an offer and pay and buy something. And they walk in the door and they pay full price. And they get their little discount back on their rewards card. And it's simple to sell, it's simple to explain, and it's a no-brainer. There's literally the worst part about this program is we could send a business, depending on the businesses, not all of them will be overwhelmed with traffic because you just don't have as much traffic going to, say, a yoga studio as you do a restaurant. But you could literally send a business more business than they can handle and hurt the business. So there's a little balancing act, and there's ways that we can control that, but that's literally when you're selling something and the worst case scenario is you might be sending them too much business. That's a pretty darn good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have. So there's 1,500 participating websites and apps. You can reach up to 100 million plus consumers. Obviously, you're going to reach those consumers. This is available, sadly, in the U.S. only right at the moment. You're going to reach those consumers if you're a national brand, not so much, obviously, if you're a local brand.
Well, it actually works for local really well.
It does.
Yeah, it doesn't, again, depending on the business, the local florist is going to do a lot of business because everybody uses florists, and the local pool guy isn't going to get quite as much business because not everyone has a pool. So you just have to understand what businesses it works well for, which ones are just going to have nice incremental growth, and which ones are potentially able to get slammed. I don't know if you put all the slides in here, but are there case studies at the end of this?
I believe so.
Okay, then I'll just be quiet.
Yeah. No, actually, this wasn't the case study slide deck.
Okay, then I'll keep talking. So they brought on, this was not my client, this was the actual technology that runs this. They brought on Jiffy Lube as a client and did $250,000 in sales in their very first month on the platform. And it was not a problem for Jiffy Lube. It just turned out they had to turn that down because they have a budget for how much they're allowed to spend in marketing. And they have to pay for the sales that we send them. So there were marketing costs involved. So they had to turn it down to $25,000 a month in sales until the budget came out the following year.
Yeah, a second ago, I think I said Yext, and I meant Yelp. Yeah. So this is an example of what you might see. This image is a little screwed up too, but this is an example of what you might see in Yelp. That you're just going to pop up that when they do a search, it's going to be contextually oriented to their search and to their geolocation if applicable, and it'll say, you can enroll in the rewards program.
We got a couple questions. Insurance agents, yes, definitely. Not all insurance companies take credit cards, but the ones that do, definitely this is a great program for them. Real estate agents, not so much for selling of homes, but for rentals, yes. You've got to think that these are credit card related purchases, guys. So anything that you would buy on a credit card is a potential, makes sense. So real estate, the rental business is really good.
I don't actually pay for my rent with a credit card.
I pay for, like, if you go to a home rental or vacation rental.
Oh, vacation rental. Yeah, it's excellent for that stuff. Yes.
And this is what it looks like in your bank statement. So you'll notice if you go to, I always give this example, I go to Starbucks all the time, so I rarely ever see, when I log into my Bank of America or Chase accounts, I very rarely ever see the Starbucks reward offer. But if I haven't been there in a while, I'm going to see it pop up just to remind me to go. If I happen to be a Caribou Coffee customer, I would see that Starbucks offer every single day when I log in, because I log in every day to see what's come through and just make sure everything looks good, right? All my business accounts I log into every day. And they're trying to target the business owners' competitors. So if you are a yoga studio and your likely consumer goes to Starbucks or they go to the Whole Foods, they're going to specifically deliver your offer to those people that are likely consumers. And think about it, guys. These are the credit cards, especially the banks and the airlines and the hotels. They know what you spend your money on because they have your credit cards. Your credit cards is a Southwest Airline credit card, right? So they know what the consumer is spending their money on. So they know what you're likely to purchase and what you're likely to want to buy. So you are actually, this is conquest marketing. They're trying to target your customers' competitors. And they're intentionally trying to avoid existing clients. But the beautiful thing is here that, and there's all kinds of studies, we're not going to get into super detail, but people get fatigued by going to the same place all the time. And they're going to go, even if you have a regular customer that comes in for your massages all the time, if they find one of your ads because they're searching on Yelp, they were looking to go to a competitor in the first place. So if you happen to show them your 10% off offer and they continue, you retain them because they saw your offer. Because all things being equal, people, you will use rewards programs, right? If they're going to go someplace to either try something new or they just want to get a massage and they want a good price, all things being equal as far as reviews, they're going to go to the place that has the offer. And these aren't Groupon type people. These are people who, they would never bring a coupon into a restaurant or to a massage place, but they've got their rewards points and they'll spend more money because it's racking up rewards for their airline or their hotel. It's a whole different paradigm than the coupon crowd.
Exactly. So we've had a couple questions. Does this work for e-com sites? And it only works for an e-com site if there's also a brick and mortar associated with it. So for example, the shoe store that we have, which does the majority of his business online, he's also got a physical store where it's just his shoes that he does in an outlet. And so because of that, we can do both. We can cover his e-com as well as his store. Those kinds of things, talk to us. You know, we should have probably a Skype room for questions on this. So we'll create a Skype room for questions.
Yeah, and it's also, there are some e-commerce businesses that we can put on board, like that shoe business. They're big enough that it makes sense because they're national and they do enough business. So let's just say that. We won't give their numbers out, but they're a major company and there's enough sales that it makes sense. So there are some things that are case by case.
Yeah. And a martial arts studio, yeah, that should work so long as they've got a merchant account and they can handle credit cards, because that's how the rewards are done, is via credit card. That should work. More applicable for national than local? No, it does both. So like Jiffy Lube, as for instance, although I know they're a national chain, but you know, their competitor, their oil change competitor down the street, they're great. Restaurants are awesome, and they can be individual standalone restaurants, they can be small chain restaurants, they can be national chain restaurants. So anything that's that's going to have a merchant account and a brick and mortar store. Those are your main two access points, and the main two things that you want to consider. And then there's all kinds of things. We targeted like yoga studios and beauty salons, like laser type.
Laser hair removal.
Laser, yeah.
Just think, guys, if you think of, I know most of you guys have done a lot of local business. So anybody that you would normally target as a local customer, a service customer, like an HVAC or even a dentist, chiropractor, it's not good for the legal crowd, but it is good for certain medical, non-invasive, like the chiropractor, the weight loss. It's fantastic for restaurants. Like you can't even imagine how much business that you can put through for a restaurant, as long as they have a decent reputation.
Yeah.
Publishers, Bank of America is not going to publish and advertise somebody who gives bad service to customers, right? So just kind of use a little bit of common sense.
And if they don't have a good reputation, then by all means get them on something like Reputation Loop just like right away, because not having a good reputation hurts them all the way around. So that is like the best thing that you can do for them, and then you can get them on this program. Somebody said something, I think it was Jamie, said something about a white water rafting rental and guides and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, absolutely, that's perfect. We've got a couple of places like that. We've got like a four-wheel ride touring kind of a place that's in the process of getting onboarded. And so yeah, it's perfect. It costs the client nothing except for, so that it's a 10% discount and the client pays 20%, 10%, which is what goes back to the purchaser, and then 10% in overhead. And out of that 10% overhead, 4.5% of it comes back to you.
Yeah, so there's a 10% marketing fee, which pays for all these publishers. It pays for you. It pays for the technology, and that's fixed. And then the merchant themselves can decide what kind of discount they want to give. We just use 10% as an example because it's the highest converting discount. So it's usually the typical, but there is flexibility in what discount they can offer.
Yeah, my guess is it's not going to work for a job recruiting business. Just because of how they get paid, right? That it's not like swipe a credit card and get paid kind of a thing. Canadian companies we could do Canada, right?
Canada's coming on board. They're not live yet.
Okay. There will be a replay. 2 or 3 people have asked me about a replay. Yes, we're recording this. And assuming, brand new platform, so assuming there's no technical glitches, there will be a replay. And on top of that, we're going to have another webinar about just this product on Thursday, so we'll answer more questions and all that kind of good stuff. So, see if there's anything. This is an example of some of the sites that you would be on, or that your client would be on. The consumer links their debit and their credit cards, and then when they pay, that's how they get the reward. They get the reward like lickety split, and then your client, the merchant, gets billed at the end of the month. They have a dashboard where they can log in, they can see what's going on, and yeah, that's how that breaks out. So, you know what? I don't think we've got. Do we want to drop a link today to the buy button in case somebody is excited and wants to hop on board?
We're launching it Thursday, so it doesn't matter. But if guys want to get a jump start, we're not going to actually start the program like the training or anything right away. But it does take a couple of days for us to get everybody set up. So it wouldn't hurt if people know they want to get in, because the sooner you get in, the sooner you're going to get set up, because we do the setups manually.
Yeah. Okay. People are saying yes. There's like a wall of yeses. So why don't you?
Fine.
All right. And oh, you put the long name in here. You guys can get here with digitaldisruption.marketing. If you're not part of our Facebook group, I can't imagine how you got on the webinar, but maybe somebody gave you a link, and you want to be part of the public Facebook group, you can come to digitaldisruption.marketing, and that will send you over to the Facebook page, and we will get everybody hooked up who gave us their email addresses. And I know I've seen my Skype just going bonkers here, so to use somebody else's keyword. I'll get all you guys emails that shot me stuff in Skype, and we'll get you hooked up. So guys are asking about how to market this to business, and
there's a ton. We'll do individual, group training for you guys, but the program, it already has a ton of training in it. It's what I went through, and I'll share with you guys exactly what I did, which is very, very close to what training teaches, but with a few interesting little tweaks that I think make all the difference in the world.
Because it's not fun if it's not evil.
Yeah, so guys, this is just so you know, you don't have to be a salesperson to do this. All you have to do is to be able to talk to somebody and have a conversation. Like, literally, you're giving something away for nothing. And when have you ever sold anything? I mean, I know a lot of marketers try to position things like, I'm going to give you the first couple of leads for free, and then you have to wrestle them for how much, $25 a lead. Screw that. Seriously.
Yeah. It's got a 500% guaranteed ROI.
And you guys get a percentage of every transaction that goes through that credit-linked offer from now until the end of time. And people don't drop out of this program. There's no reason. That literally the only reason people will drop out is, I guess they could drop out because they don't understand. So you might not have done a great job in explaining to them that there's no reason not to stay on the program. So literally, if you're not sending them any business, they still don't even need to drop out because their brand is getting shown everywhere.
Exactly.
The only way that someone would really sincerely quit is if we sent them so much business that they couldn't grow anymore and they had no desire to expand any farther. But even then, they probably wouldn't quit. They'd probably just throttle it down, because every business goes through seasonality where they have slow times and busy times, and you can dial it up and down to accommodate them. You could literally eliminate the need for businesses that use Groupon and pay 50 and 60% with clients that very rarely ever come back. You could fill the shoes of Groupon. That could be one of your targets. You could target businesses that use Groupon.
Yep.
Not that I'm revealing anything.
So just so you know, the company that we're strategically partnered with here is called Umbrella, and we have negotiated with them a 30% discount for you guys. So, which I'm actually quite stoked about, and we're going to offer you guys. Is the 3Pay up on that?
No, we didn't. We weren't going to sell today, so we will have 3Pay if you want, but the 1Pay will be up on that page
today.
I didn't know for sure we were even going to do the 3Pay, but we won't have that page up until we could get it up tomorrow, probably.
Yeah. We can do that in the morning.
But the other thing is, guys, this strategic partnership is not just about an affiliate relationship with, good old boys hugging each other and slapping each other on the back and,
what?
Each other's customers and stuff. We are in an actual alliance with them, so we're going to be developing things for them. They're going to be developing things for us. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming out, and actually, anyway, something cool coming out very soon too. That goes, just start building with what you've got, and with this program if you want to get in, and everything will fall into place.
Exactly. And we've also got a strategic relationship with jimmykelly.digital, and like his latest tool, his next tool coming out is pretty amazing. It's slated to come out late this week, early next week, but I can't make any promises on that. But anyway, that's just to wet your whistle. There's a very cool thing out on that front very shortly. So,
Ganti, that link is not working because it's private and you can't see it. I put you in the group. Guys, if I did not get you in the group, I'm going to drop the public Facebook group in again so you can get in there and just either that or hit us up in Skype. I'm going to drop Sue's Skype and the public Facebook group in again in the chat.
We will get you guys hooked up. I'm so excited. That's just the cutest picture.
Yeah, because you guys rock. We love
you. Guys do rock.
And we're very excited about doing some cool stuff with you.
You know, so Paul asks, can a newbie make money doing this?
It's perfect for a newbie.
I think so.
It's literally perfect. The only thing you have to realize is that it will take some time for you to build up. Now, you could go out and open a 100 location real estate rental company tomorrow and onboard them, and it takes about 3 or 4 weeks to get onboarded and for traffic to start going. But once they get going, you've got a recurring revenue for as long as they stay with you. So
yep.
You could literally go from zero to, but for most people, you're going to go to the restaurants that you're used to going to. You go to the Mexican restaurant that you go to once every couple of weeks that you know. It's so easy to talk to people that you know and tell them that you're working with the rewards program for Bank of America and Southwest Airlines, and you'd like to feature them on that program. They're like, where do I sign up? Oh, and the sign up takes about 30 seconds. Did I mention that we're doing easy stuff?
Exactly. So, couple of questions came in. Ganti, yes. The e-com stuff, we've got 3 different e-com stores in our case studies, and they're different kinds of e-com stores, and you'll be able to follow what it is that we're doing and what works and what doesn't work. So yes, I feel confident that you will get some good information in there that will help you with what it is that you're doing. Reputation loop, man, let me just take a quick look here. I think if you just query reputation loop, but let me just look.
Yeah, you might want to hold off on that, Sue.
Oh, that's true. That's true. There's a, I'll just say it, like, because I don't believe in, like, holding anything back. There's a reputation loop type product that we're probably going to be promoting. I want to look at it first. It's also through Umbrella, but I want to check it out. So I mentioned to the guys at Umbrella what I don't like about Reputation Loop, and that is when your clients hit the help desk, they're talking to Reputation Loop help people, and they don't, they have a habit of not acknowledging the white label status of your subscription. So the thing about Reputation Loop is you buy in at, I don't remember, a couple $100 a month or something like that, and then you can bring all your clients on at, I don't know, like $20-30 a month. It depends on what features you want to give them, and then you can charge your clients $100 a month, and it works out well for everybody. They wouldn't be able to get the service for $100 if they were trying to come in at the price that you came, and you bring on, after your second client, you're making buck. So so Reputation Loop is great in theory, but the guys that use it are a little bit unhappy with it. It's still the best product that I know out there at the moment, but as I said, we've got this new one coming on, and I haven't looked at it yet, and I already expressed that the help desk thing that needs to get fixed, needs to not be an issue in this new product that's being released. So so yeah, I'll stop there. Soapbox off, sliding back under the table.
I want to get a couple of questions answered. Ganti, yeah. I don't know if you heard, we cannot do drop shipping e-commerce stores, probably not going to be eligible. If it's a e-commerce store that has their own brand, it's possible if they're large enough, and that means dollar-wise. This is really more for brick and mortar. So if they have a storefront, and they're online, yes, you can do it.
So you're talking about the rewards program specifically?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm answering that specifically.
Yeah. Whereas with the case studies, we're doing other things. So obviously, one of the e-commerce stores, the shoe store, we're doing the rewards program with, but the other two we can't. So the other two we're going to be doing, and as well as the shoe store, we're going to be doing other measures. And so you're going to see what it is that we do and get some good ideas from that.
Not every strategy is going to work for every type of business, but pretty much that's why we've brought on all kinds of different case studies, because we have many different strategies and tools. So something is going to fit for everyone. Alex, for non-U.S. folks, we would have to somehow contact businesses online, right? And this is about the rewards program. Yeah, absolutely. I've not talked to a single person other than I've got them online and I talked to them on the phone. Never left.
No face-to-face.
Never left my computer.
Perfect for the introvert. Fran is a closet introvert. I've gotten her onto Webbies, but mostly she likes to sit in a small room away from the rest of humanity, hugging her puppies and just like being so incredibly productive on a computer. I don't understand how she does it.
Yeah, I didn't make a single outbound phone call, and I did not go visit a single person. So if that intrigues you.
Mm-hmm. Thursday's webinar, we will get into all of the details. You guys are starting to ask some very detailed questions, and I don't want this webinar to drag on too long. We wanted to give you guys a taste of what it is we're doing and how it is we're doing it, and we will
you hiding there making those comments, so you can't hide from me either. Calling you an introvert and he doesn't have his name on it. All right,
exactly.
We're so excited about this new project and what we're doing. I mean, this is just fun stuff. It's like playing in the candy store.
Yes, indeed. Oh, that was, I see. We should have guessed from the initials. We should have known.
I knew it was him.
Okay.
I said his name. I guess I was talking too fast. All right. Anything else, guys? If we missed anybody adding you to the group, just get in, see in the chat. We have the public Facebook group there. Anybody, you guys can join. We have to approve you, but we'll get you in there, and then we can have conversations in there about all this stuff, really.
Will I become an overnight millionaire if I sign up?
Of course you will. Everyone will.
She's saying that tongue-in-cheek.
You sign up twice and you'll get rich that much faster. So the rewards program, guys, again, it can take, like one of the restaurants that we onboarded has got $2,000 in new sales so far this month. So you do the math. If you get 4.5% of the sales, and I brought in one yoga studio that had 4 locations. One of them is up to almost $2,000, and one of them's only got $100 a month because the locations are different. So you're not going to get rich overnight. You might if you brought on, a couple Jiffy Lubes. If you know people who have big franchise businesses like that, sure. But it's not about that.
It's still going to take 6 weeks by the time they get processed and you get paid. Minimum 6 weeks.
Yeah, so it's not. There's even if you brought on the 4,000 location restaurant chain, it's still, you're not going to be overnight. You're going to have to wait for a month or two. But you get paid every month, and it's recurring income. So every month they spend money. Every month people go in and get their oil changes and buy their dinners. You're going to get paid on that business, and you can keep building on that and growing that residual income. And like I said, people stay. They stick in this program. It doesn't make any sense not to.
So you want to join the secret Facebook group in order to get at the case studies. What we're going to do is this is going to be available, open for free for everybody coming over from our old lists for a few days, and then we're going to close the free aspect of it down. I think we're going to do like $97 a month. There'll be a training area and the information about the case studies and what it is that we're doing and how it is that we're doing it, because I just don't want all that like out there for anybody to come along and pick up. It's for you guys.
Yeah, and since Sue already said this, again, we weren't going to actually publicly sell this until Thursday, so it's there. I just dropped it in again. The pricing is there. We will have a 3-pay that we'll add to it either tonight or tomorrow. So if you guys want to just, jump in the public Facebook group, we will let you know when it's up if you're interested in that.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, guys.
I'm gonna be identity for her. What it is. Oh my goodness.
Oh, too funny. All right, you guys are awesome. You guys just completely rock. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the groups.
All right, now we just got to figure out how to shut this thing down.
I'm gonna stop the recording now.
All right, good plan.
Seriously, we don't know how to turn it off, do we?